Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Oh, wait a minute. Is this working? Hell. Oh, yeah, it is working. Never mind. It is working. Let's see. Who was here first? Amelia Rodriguez, thank you so much for being here first. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Hey, Miss Viv, Puzzle Dot, Simon Black, Mary H., Joyce Anderson, Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. All right. So I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Certainly not after last night and the night before. I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. No promises, though. Okay. Let's have at it then, right? About last night. You know, that was one of my favorite romantic comedies from the 1980s, About Last Night, starring Rob Lowe and Demi Moore. They actually were in a movie called St. Elmo's Fire. Um, Let me see, were they in the Brat Pack? You remember they had the Rat Pack, right? And then in the 80s, they had some young actors, a pool of actors they referred to as the Brat Pack. And St. Elmo's Fire, which was like a coming of age movie, it was like that post um college movie, like just graduated from college. And they referred to that movie as The Little Chill because, in some ways, it was like a younger version of the movie The Big Chill, if you remember that movie. And those were not postgraduates, they were actually mature. Um, oh, not quite ready to retire, but yeah, those are some great movies actually. Set Almost Fire, The Big Chill, and About Last Night. Speaking of About Last Night, I um watched the movie that what's that kid's name? Um Legs. I know, how could I forget? Hey, it was a long night last night. Legs recommended the movie. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I think it's called Don't Look Up or something like that. But anyway, great sci-fi movie. Kind of funny and quirky and yet very interesting. So let's get on with it, shall we? So Megan absolutely dazzled last night. This is a very glamorous Hollywood look. When you see a gown like that, you might think haute couture, maybe like Givenchy, right? As someone recommended yesterday, they thought it might have been a Givenchy. I love saying that because it makes me feel so French. We. Uh, let's see. Très bien. Yeah, there you have it. Très bien. Yeah, but it makes me feel very sophisticated and French. So that's why I love to say that. Oh, and Tina Knowles last night. Well, I'll get to her later. Better leave this here so I won't forget to talk about her. Also, what else do I need to do? Yeah, I think I had better close a few of these windows. I got so many things open right now. I mean, I am just about as busy as a cat covering up poop. So I'm going to close a couple of these and hopefully we won't run into any trouble. Because the last thing we need is more trouble. All right. So, yes, absolutely glamorous. And I believe that there was at least a few people that were of the opinion that the color that she is wearing is blush, which is a very pale pink, extremely pale, with that black velvet cloak. I'm going to call it a cloak with a nice train on it. Oh, man. Check that out. You better walk. You better walk, girl. Walk like this, 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 this. And of course, Emma Greedy, who's got a style of her own for the night. Let me go ahead and show you the I made a few I posted a few things on the shorts, right? So I'm going to show you what I put on the shorts, but I'm going to do it all at once. Okay, so just give me 1 second here. What am I looking for? There we go. This is it. No, it isn't. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, let me try that again. I knew it was too good to be true. Yeah, let me do it again. I knew that was too good to be true. All right. Wait, did I post? Yeah, I posted it. Yes, I think this is it. Okay, let's try this one. Straight on, Meghan. Meghan, straight on.
Guys,
Give us a wave. As you walk.
have a good night.
Okay. How was that, you guys? So, what I did was I just took about five of those little shorts and I strung them together. If you want to see them again individually, just go to Royal Sussex Shorts and you'll find it there. Of course, I could not use the proprietary music that they use because, well, I would have gotten in trouble, so I couldn't do that. Um, unless, yeah, I couldn't do that. Uh, that would have got me in trouble. So, but yeah, so there you have it. But yeah, what a great night. What a great night for everyone, not just for our Duchess, but for everyone. Hey, Shirley Holland. And please don't ask me who those other ladies are. Well, actually, there's a third facing the camera. I don't know who she is, but everybody looks absolutely wonderful. Um, and Emma's, she's got quite a sparkle of her own. And gosh, is she really enjoying the night? If I'm correct, she did she plan the night or is okay, I'll tell you what, I can answer my own question here. Gosh, my computer is so hot. Oh, I hope this thing does not trip on me today. Okay, so Black excellence and community was the theme of the night at the annual 15% 15% pledge gala, with some of the biggest stars turning out to support Black owned businesses and honor Tina Knowles. The businesswoman, designer, and mother of Beyonce and Solange Knowles was celebrated for her continued advocacy alongside Black creators and entrepreneurs at the 15% Pledge Gala on February the 7th at the Paramount Studios in Los Angeles. Founded in 2020 by fashion designer, activist, and entrepreneur Aurora James, the annual gala is a star studded gathering dedicated to advancing economic equity and amplifying Black owned businesses. The nonprofit initiative urges major retailers to dedicate 15% of their shelf space to Black owned businesses. What a worthy cause, right? Um, and very fair, I might add. I was thinking about what does it mean for major corporations to actually support the Black community while doing good business at the same time. James said that herself. And I thought Black people are over 15% of the population. Major retailers should commit 15% of their jobs to Black owned businesses. Naturally, the attire of the night was black tie and black designer. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, Kelly Rowland, Kamara Lee Simmons, that is, Kamara Lee Simmons, and more attended the 15% Pledge Gala. The gala was full of Black excellence, including the likes of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and it kind of repeats here, Kelly Rowland, Love Island breakout star Olandria Carthan, Chloe Bailey, renowned stylist Law Roach, Kimora Lee Simmons, MC Light, 15% pledge chairwoman Emma Greedy, and more. So they say Kelly Rollins presented the award to Knowles, singing her praises from her early days as a hair salon owner and her current achievements as a designer, entrepreneur, and cultural icon. Let us not forget author, right? Let us not forget author. Oh man, I tell you, my computer is hot. I almost feel like I want to go and get a little fan and put it on it. I don't know why it's so hot like that. Um, it says here, I attended the 15% gala last year for the first time, and I have the distinct pleasure of sitting next to Aurora James, who blew me away with her story of getting stores to dedicate 15% of their shelves to Black brands. Knowles said while accepting the honor. Knowles, that is our Tina Knowles, spoke about her own journey and importance of the honor. Again, I don't know who those ladies are, but everybody looks so beautiful, don't they? Everybody looks so beautiful. Um, so Tina Knowles says, having been in clothing business, I know firsthand that that is no small feat. Knowles said, but of course, that struck me the most, well, I'm sorry, what struck me the most was the fact that she was even thinking about other Black entrepreneurs and trying to pull them up. Unfortunately, that is not an everyday occurrence. And Knowles reflects on her journey while accepting the 15% pledge honor. She reflects on what made the gala truly special, turning her attention to the sense of community and celebration that filled the room. Yes, it did. Look at there. Meghan pictured with Malika Andrews. Oh, that's the one who started this, right? Is that right? Wait, let me go back and make sure that was the person's name. And I just said her name, but you know me. No sooner than, oh no, I'm sorry, it wasn't her. It was someone else. It was someone last name James. Wow. Oh, Aurora James. Yeah. Yeah, Aurora James. So that is Malika Andrews. Sandra, is it Van Queer? Van Queer. And Jackie Aina. Aina. And Jackie Osmoa at the, okay, that's a thing there. Okay. God, did I just butcher those names, didn't I? Gorgeous. Can you say gorgeous? Gorgeous. And I wish I knew who they were, but I'm not sure. I kind of think that's Aurora James, but don't quote me on that. Okay. So Tina Knowles said, I appreciate this great honor of acknowledging me, but the real joy for me at this event comes from seeing all of us cheering each other and supporting, networking, sharing resources, and looking fabulous as we do so. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100. Okay. Looking absolutely delicious. Face card accepted. Yes, face card accepted every time, lady. Every time. Now, there's our designer. Um, and his name is Charles. Oh gosh, let me make sure I get this right. Oh, I'm terrible with names, you guys, but let me do it. Charles Harbison? Harbison. Harbison. Anyway, he's the gentleman that designed not only Meghan's dress for the night, but also Tina Knowles' dress, which I'll show you in just a minute. Okay. Oh yeah, and the other thing is he's also easy on the eyes. Anyway, Harbison has what he calls the Harbison Studio, and I hope you guys did go on his website and see some of the designs that he has there. because well, the designs are pretty special. So, oh my goodness. I'm just going to go to his we'll do the wiki. So, oh, that's not him. Not with that birthday. Wow, I did not know that that was such a common name. Okay. Well, I thought I had the right bio, but I did not. Seems like that is a very common name. Born in Lincoln, Nebraska? Yeah. Launched 2013. He was born in Lincoln, Nebraska. No, it's Lincolnton, North Carolina. NC is North Carolina, right? And based in Brooklyn. I'm about to put this man in Nebraska. So Harbison studied fine arts, painting, and textiles at the North Carolina State University, and he spent his undergraduate summer holding internships at Michael Kors and Jack Spade. Wow, so he's been around the business for a minute then. He spent a year abroad studying in Central Asian textiles. His next move brought him to New York, where he enrolled in the fashion program at Parsons School of Design. He continued with a stint at Luca Luca and Billy Reed, producing both women's wear and accessories. Well, okay. So there you go. There's a little bit about him. But anyway, he's young. He's just a baby. But it seems as though he started his own brand back in 2013. And there he is there on the left. There's Meghan wearing the gown. And also, I don't know if you caught on, when you saw Doja Cat, that was actually him that Meghan was speaking to. Here, I'll show you. Okay, yeah, Doja Cat decided to mug the camera, which I thought was adorable. Anyway, that's Meghan speaking to Charles right there. And Doja Cat just kind of went by and made sure she was seen. Hey, Hazel Jones. But yeah, you can see his hair, and it looks like he's kind of tall too. But yeah, so that is the gentleman right there. And if you just joined us, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up, please. Meghan knows she was causing it. You can tell by the way she was walking last night. She knew she was causing it. Although I would have loved to have seen her with her hair up, but she also looks great with her famous slick back bun. Yes, Doja Cat, we see you, girl. Yeah, go. Get out of here. Take your pixie with you. Oh, it was so nice seeing all of that. As they say, all that black excellence all in the same room. Look at her. Walk, girl. You better walk. Let's see that again. That was definitely a Rachel Zane strut there.
All the way Megan, sit down. Guys, fabulous. You got some wings. As you will. Have a good night.
So again, congratulations to Charles Harbison for a an amazing night, and let's get some flowers together for you. Well done, you. Well done. And of course, here's some other stuff. I didn't know that he designed these. I had no idea. I guess I just wasn't paying attention. But okay, I'll tell you. The dress on the left, I don't remember that skirt and top. The one on the right, the white outfit. Oh my God, I love that. Love, love, love that. And see there, Harbison Studio. You know what? Let me see if I can find those pictures so you can see Meghan in the entire suit. I'm so sorry I didn't think about that until just right now. But let's see if it's easy to find. Oh, that was too easy. At least I found one of them. At least I found, okay. Okay, let me do this one first. I do believe this is the right one. Huh? Huh? That's from way back. So as you can see, Meghan didn't just pop out in one of his outfits for the occasion. Um, she's actually had a few pieces of his for some time. I love that. Let me show you another picture. I love her in that white suit, by the way. Okay, you got all that? Let me get this other one up for you. Again, I do think this is the right one. Let me try this. Yes. Oh, how beautiful. How beautiful. You know, because Meghan is part of our family, I guess we don't always think about how beautiful she is, but then sometimes you can see her in one of these photo shoots and it's just like, daughter? Daughter, is that you? Yes. Our little play daughter is doing it. Okay, let me try this one. I think this is slightly different from that one, but let me try that. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Right? Right? Huh? Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. So I had no idea that was one of his outfits, but there you have it. What's that? Harry never stood a chance. Not in the least bit. Yeah, she is, isn't she? She takes after me. She gets it from my side of the family. Um, by the way, you guys, speaking of family, I spoke to Jerry White today, and she's actually been under the weather. As you know, recently she lost her sister. Her sister made the transition after 6 years of care. And anyway, uh, Jerry has just got out of the hospital. So, yeah, it was like, I guess maybe perhaps the all of the extra added things that needed to be done, maybe the whole stress of everything. I guess her resistance got a bit low, and um, anyway, it was just one thing after the other. But Jerry is as tough as nails, and she's a godly woman, and she prays. We pray for her. So yeah, she as always, she baffles the doctors. The medical community do not know what to make of her. You know what it is? That's that Holy Spirit. That's that Holy Spirit. That's what it is. So, anyway, um, Jerry's going to convalesce at home, and she'll continue to listen in with us. So, yeah. Anyway, cheers, Jerry. Glad you are feeling better, and a speedy recovery for you. So, yes, you guys, please keep her in your prayers. This community is very, very important to her and a few other people that, it's just like some people have been telling me that they've been going through some rough times and how much they depend on this community. So that's something we have to consider every day. Is It's not about an individual. It's certainly not about me. It's about the community. It's all of us. All right. Can I do that one more time? Do you guys mind? Oh, I got to see this suit one more time. I love this white suit. The oversized buckle, the whole gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Love that hairstyle. Love that hairstyle. I wonder what year this was. And if he like launched his studio, I think it was 2013. Um couldn't have been that long ago, right? Anyway, very, very good. Now the other outfit, I'm not so sure that I'm not sure what I'm seeing there. I would have to make it bigger so I can tell you what kind of print that is. Which, guess what? I'm going to do that right now. Let me take a look. I'm not going to bring up another picture. I just want to take a quick look, zoom into it so I can see what I'm looking at here. Oh, okay. It looks like some chunky, kind of big, kind of like rhinestones of some sort, like jewels, almost like a jewel um on the lower part, and the upper part, those look like floral appliques. Well, you know what? If you've seen some of Charles Harbison's designs, then you know he goes for the very bold look. But here's a black and white of our Duchess looking absolutely wonderful. And there's the dress again there on the right. And we didn't know about the earrings, but the earrings, um, is that Mason Mariner? Mariner? Yeah, anyway, that's the jewels there. If you can make that out, let me see it. Try to make that a little bigger for myself. Yes, Mason. Oh, it's got a one of those accents on the E, so Morena, I think. Anyway, those are beautiful. I wonder what they're made of. Are they real diamonds? Are they, well, perhaps they're, I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's a synthetic diamond or not, but the thing is, it's absolutely beautiful. I am kind of curious though. Anyway, it's a good look for the outfit. And those are some of the bigger earrings that Meghan has worn. Meghan doesn't usually go in for the supersized earrings. Okay. Also, cheers to Emma because you know what? Every time there's some event, there's certain parts of it that Emma does not leave it to an event coordinator. She's very hands on, in spite of being as busy as she is. And she is an incredibly busy person. But there's a lot of times when she's hands on. The picture on the right side, that is from that dinner that she had back in, oh, I think it was October for women entrepreneurs. And then, of course, on the left side, those two images are from this dinner. And as you can see, she's doing the place cards herself. So um, amazing. I mean, you would think that the event coordinator would be right there with her, laying those things out, but it's probably something she decided at the absolute last moment. So, what can I say? This lady is so uh, energetic, right? Very intelligent, and just the hands-on. I don't know who could keep up with the pace that she works. Well, other high achievers, I'm sure, but it's incredible the volume of work that she produces any given time because she has a lot of responsibilities and she has children. She has some little ones. So imagine what that must take. I think she has 3 kids. So, yeah, I am in awe of her. I know this is kind of tacky, but Forbes magazine says her net worth is about $400 million. Her fortune comes from significant stakes in her ventures, including Skims with Kim Kardashian, Good American with Khloe Kardashian, and Safely with Kris Jenner. So she is bringing a lot of brain power and know how to elevate everybody's business. So let's see. She was born in 1982, and she is said to be a British businesswoman, entrepreneur, and fashion designer. She is recognized for her business ventures involving members of the Kardashian family, as above mentioned. Um, wow, she's from East London. She's the daughter of Jenny Lee Findley, a white English mother who worked for Morgan Stanley. I believe that's a financial institution, right? And a black Jamaican and Trinidadian father, raised by her single mother. She has 3 younger sisters, Charlotte, Rachel, and Katie Beth. And starting as a teenager, Emma began working at a number of odd jobs, including delivering newspapers, which she credits for teaching her perseverance and discipline. Wow, you know what? So that is what her and Meghan have in common. Because remember, Meghan, when did Meghan start working? When she was 14? She regularly saved her earnings and purchased magazines like Elle and Vogue, and has noted that the fashion industry was a form of escapism for her. And at age 16, Greedy enrolled in the London College of Fashion, where she also secured an internship at places like Gucci. However, in order to pursue her career, she withdrew from school before completing her degree, noting that it was the right decision for me. Remember, that was a decision for her. If you are in school, do not leave school because it worked out for other people. As you know, school is really to teach us stuff that we don't know. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. So, anyway, that's a little bit about her. Entrepreneur, philanthropist, and so she's married to a Swedish guy. She's married to Jens Greedy. Oh, that's where that name comes from. Oh my gosh. Just when you think it can't get any better, listen, you guys, do not start crying. I almost hate to say the words. The couple moved to Bel Air, Los Angeles in 2017, and they have 4 children together. Bel Air? She moved to Bel Air? Are you serious? Oh my goodness. She has come a long way from East London. How do you just tell people, well, and back in 2017, we moved to Bel Air? Oh, oh, uh, that's like saying, well, back in 2020, we moved to Montecito. Yes, Oprah's our neighbor. And for a while, um, what's her name? The whatever her name is. I can remember Portia. How come I can't remember her name? What do I want to say? Rachel, Ellen DeGeneres. Whew. Get it together, me. Get it together. Wow, she is amazing. She is amazing. Oh, okay. Is that what that is? All right. So there you go, you guys. That's a little bit about Emma. I just think that she and Meghan probably have so much in common. There's Emma from last night, and there she is from that big dinner she had the other time where Meghan was Meghan a guest of honor? I know she sat right next to her. Yeah, I think Meghan was a guest of honor that night. And what a very, very beautiful outfit. Do you see the way it goes over the shoulder and it drops down the other side and it's got that oversized tassel on it? Now that is very genius. And there's Tina Knowles' outfit. As I said, Charles Harbison, he he likes to put a lot of chunky, oversized embellishments on some of the outfits he designs, and it really gives it a whole nother mood. So, and that is a great look for Tina Knowles. And I'm not saying that because we're on Beyonce's internet. I'm saying that because it's true. She looks fantastic. And if I ever meet her, I'm going to tell her, please tell Beyonce thanks for the internet. Okay. Let me see what's up next. Oh, you guys, I could not wait to get to this. I could not wait to get to this. Okay, so listen. Gabrie's Sidibe. You know, I used to call her Gabrielle Cinnabon. For some reason, I kept calling her Gabrielle Cinnabon. Anyway, she opens up about her twin kids facing colorism because one is lighter than other and says it makes her husband furious. I kind of thought about Prince Harry because, well, you know what? I will let you hear it and we will talk about it on the other side. But this is so interesting. Antoinette Kennedy, thank you for joining us. So interesting. Looks like we made it. Look how far we come now, baby. We might have come the long way. But just look at... Okay. But just look at us going on. We're still together. Uh-oh, that's not it. Here we go. You ready, guys? Here we go. We'll talk about it on the other side.
And so he has learned through me that there's colorism over here.
Where's your husband from?
He's from Chicago. He's from the burbs of Chicago. Yeah. He's white. He's Jewish. Yeah. But he didn't know this thing about complexion with us. He learned through me. And so when both the kids were born the same exact color, and then all of a sudden my son was pink and then red and then orange and then black, and we looked at my daughter and we're like, you coming, sister? She said the credit score is better. So she said no thank you. but yeah, and my husband was like worried and like, are people gonna make fun of Cooper? And I was like, honestly, no, because he's a boy.
Yeah.
With the skin complexion, no, because he's a boy. He'll be fine. They'll both be fine. But we run into people seeing that they're like me, like, oh, how old is the girl? Oh, 15 months. How old's the boy? They're twins. Wait, they're twins? They're like, people don't believe that they're siblings. Wow. Because their skin colors are so different. Yeah. And it's like, and it annoys my husband to no end. He really hates it because also people, he can see people be more weird and aggressive to my son than my daughter. He takes them out on walks and he wants, and people will try to touch my son. And they don't to my daughter. Huh. They respect that white woman. Yeah. And they try to.
So they go, this who's the black
kid? I love babies. And they reach for my son constantly. And my husband is like, my husband is like, has really turned into like, in what world is it okay for you to touch a stranger's baby? Blah, blah, blah. And these two white women approached and said, oh my God, they're so cute. Are they yours? And he said, yeah. Yours. And she said, even him?
Even him? What is This is the 50s?
They're twins. And she said, looks like he got cooked a little longer. So people are weird. And at that point, my children were 4 months old. And so from my husband he's having such a great awakening. And if you see him on Threads, you know that he is angry. He is angry.
Now he sees like, we go to every goddamn day now. Huh?
He's angry because he can see how the world, and he's scared of the way the world, and how his children will live in it.
Yeah. But now he has children and he sees, I go, it's old ass thinking.
We should not be dealing with this anymore.
It's I'm tired. Yeah. People say, when people go, man, it's 2026. What the hell? I go, all you have to do is subtract by 100, and you'll know where their mentality is. It's 1926 with these people. Subtract by 100.
And stop talking to our blacks about it, because we're not the ones in charge.
That's what Toni Morrison
I'm not doing
said.
it.
Leave me out of it. That's for you to deal with. You know, there's a great, you've seen this video of Toni Morrison's on Charlie Rose, and he asks, what is this racism thing? And she explains it. The coolest I've ever seen in my life. I'll play it for you after this. Yeah. It's amazing. And it's just like, yes.
It's not, don't ask us.
Yeah, you deal with it. That's yours.
It's yours.
Distortion that you call racism. You deal with it. Leave me out of it. I've never been a victim. I've never been a victim. You tried to make me a victim. And if it takes someone being on their knees for you to feel tall, there's some, it's the coldest. And you know, Toni Morrison, she's always this. She was always the most.
Okay. And that is a quote from Toni Morrison about racism. She said, if you need for someone to be on their knees so that you can be tall, so that you can feel tall, you're the one with the problem. It's not a black problem. The problem is the person who's racist. If you must have someone on your knees so that you can be tall, then there's something wrong with you. You're the one with the problem. I had an exchange with someone years ago, someone who just happened to be a white young man. I was a young man myself at the time. And he gave me the good old, you know what the trouble is with black people? And I'm like, no, what is it? Thing is, only one of us had a full-time job, and it wasn't him. It wasn't him. This was my friend's boyfriend. And been to prison and everything. And I don't know, I guess she thought he would benefit from having a talk with me so that he can see something more than his racism. And of course, coming from a family where, you know, everybody worked, everybody had a car, homes, not rented homes, but homes. The black people he described, I mean, I know those people, but I'm not that person that he believes is in trouble, right? The one that he believes that sits around and asks for handouts and entitlements, which is so weird when statistically we know that if you're from certain red states, not only are the majority of people on benefits in those states white people in those states. I live in a state that's an economic engine. I live in a state that is the world's 30th largest economy, 30th largest. And of course, New York, California, economic engines. We put more money into the federal pool of money than we get back as a state. And yet, a lot of those people that vote against their own interests because, you know, they want to vote for a Republican who's, if they're not completely racist, they are into dog whistles. They're, you know, racist in all but name only. They want to vote for those people so that they can turn the clock back to the 1950s. Those people do not protect their interests. You go to West Virginia and that is like entitlement city, West Virginia. You've never seen so many white people on benefits and unemployed and accepting government handouts. It's odd because they don't see themselves as benefiting more than the average black person does. But there you have it. I mean, there are towns where everyone is on Social Security disability and they're on pain management. I'm not making that up. There are towns um, that the local doctor is running a pill mill, as they call it. So that person decided that he would look down upon me. Um, and I guess my friend didn't think that I would believe that a person like that exists unless I talked to him. And yeah, I understand now. So, anyway, about the colorism that Gabby's husband experienced, it reminds me of Prince Harry in that Harry thought he knew a thing or two. Like this guy is, if he's from Chicago, if he's from a suburb of Chicago, I'm sure he believes that he knows a lot about people. He knows a lot about the world, right? But some of those suburban Chicago communities are some of the wealthiest, communities in the country. Some of the wealthiest towns in the country. The zip code. If you're from that zip code, you're going to have a very successful life on average. And you don't know certain things. You might think you do because occasionally you take the commuter train into downtown Chicago, but you don't. And so he began to see how people would react to the children. Maybe he didn't notice it so much with her because of her celebrity status, but he certainly recognized it in the way people were treating his children, the way people were somewhat aggressive with his son, and not so much so with the daughter. And by the way, looking at that photo on the right side, I think the daughter is catching up to the brother. I think she's catching up. I'm looking at her hand. One way you can tell is the ears and around the knuckles. Um, I got a baby picture. I look just like her. When I saw that picture, I'm like, who's that little white kid? It was me. So that's the thing that happens. Um, and it looked like she's catching up, but I don't think she's ever going to have as dark a complexion as him. But um, there has been numerous cases with twins where one is lighter and the other was darker. I think there was some babies from the UK, and they grew up, and the one daughter had blonde hair and thinking she had blue eyes, and the other sister had the dark hair, that darker complexion, and brown eyes, and they're twins. They were born at the same time, but it's a difference in the way the two of them are treated, and it's very painful for someone who has a very light complexion. It can be very painful, the idea of colorism, because a lot of times someone with a lighter complexion who identifies as, say, African American or African of whatever nationality, they go on a defensive. They go on a defensive because they're not black enough to be black and they're not white enough to be white. And it's always this idea of, where do I belong, right? Depends on, your complexion. And it's the same way when a person is biracial. Everyone feels a need to put a label on you and to identify you a certain way. and you don't get a chance to identify yourself before someone else is doing it. And of course, there's the resentment that comes from people in the community that you identify with. So it's it is a very, very emotional topic, and I I don't have an answer for it. I've always seen myself as somewhere in the middle, and I just did not think about it, and I did not have strong opinions about anyone around me, whether they were lighter or darker. I just did not care. Um, let's see. Hey, Duchess of Success. Yes, Baron. There was one twin from the UK. One kid came out black, the other came out white and ginger. Genetics are fascinating. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I remember those girls from, oh, I think I may have seen them for the first time maybe 10 years ago. And I don't remember exactly what their experience was. I'm a little clouded on the conversation, but I do recall that people treated them very, very different. Um, so yeah, that I couldn't wait to share this with you guys. I thought it was so interesting. Kim Peaches, welcome. Thank you for being here. Oh, does she ever? Um, I'm going to put this on while we're talking. I'll just put the sound down just in case if there's someone who did not see it. I'll just put that on and just leave it. Is it playing? No. There we go. I'll just leave that in the background. So, there are two women right there that definitely understand one another because they're both biracial, Emma Greedy and um, Meghan Sussex. I'm sure they understand each other a lot. And it would be interesting to know what Emma's experience has been. I think we've learned a bit about Meghan's experience, but I'd be very keen to hear about Emma. Elaine Parker, top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Okay. Wow, this is like a family reunion. We got Antoinette Kennedy, Elaine Parker, Duchess of Success. Oh, thank you so much. Wow, I caught a live. Well, if you want to make it sound like a disease, fine. If you want to make Royal Sussex sound like you're coming down with something, fine, fine. I see how you are. But anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. And I'm so glad you're here. Doctor, I caught alive. Was it Royal Sussex? Yes. Well, I'm going to recommend that you don't listen to it for 2 weeks and get some bed rest. Hi, Naomi Maria, Gwendolyn Daniels. Let me see, is there anybody else I missed? And I said hi to Ms. Z, I hope. Okay. Well, yeah. So anyway, that happened, and very interesting. I know it may have been difficult to understand parts of it because she talks very fast, and she has a very bubbly personality, which I think is adorable. But yeah, she talks a bit fast, and I know if English is not your first language, it may have been difficult to catch some of the things that she said. But I'm guessing you can kind of figure out what was going on here. I love those pumpkin jack-o'-lantern outfits for Halloween. But yeah, so there's another thing that's coming soon that will remind you of Harry, and that is there's a John F. Kennedy Jr. document. What is it? A docudrama? Yes, there's a docudrama coming out about John F. Kennedy, John Jr. And I have always felt that there was a parallel between um, Prince Harry and the um, the Kennedy kid, because John Kennedy Jr. had been followed by the press for years, and one of the biggest things that made life difficult for him was just that he was so darn attractive. I mean, this guy, oh, he, being an Irish descent and being of French descent, you would have thought that he was of Greek descent because people kept referring to him as the Greek god, the Greek god. But he was accustomed to the press being present. And I don't know that he's ever like had the big shouting match with them or anything like that. It was just, they were just there. And I suppose he had kind of gotten used to it. But his poor wife was really struggling with it. They really put her through the mill. And just like with Princess Diana, I am going to insist that it ultimately cost them their lives, because there was a lot of pressure on their marriage. And I believe that one of the reasons why it took so long for them to leave town that day is because everything that they would do, every movement, was governed by press intrusion. And it just really changes the way you move, the way you think, and it makes you paranoid and hyper aware of your surroundings, and you just cannot move freely through the public. And someday I hope they will legislate some type of law where if there's so much engagement of a person, I don't know if they can make this work, but I would just say if there was so much engagement of a person in certain spaces or situations, then you just have to back off, or you can't, and I know it would definitely infringe upon the rights of the press, but they are doing so much damage, so much mental damage to people with this type of. I mean, a private person who's not a celebrity, they have more rights against a stalker than most famous people do, right? Sometimes they'll take an individual stalker to court because they have proven to be dangerous. But I'm going to also quote Harry and say that a lot of the paparazzi are just thugs. These are people that couldn't make it in life any other way. Their talent is being in places for a long time and having enough wit to find you wherever you are in the world, and being able to ruthlessly record and photograph everything you do. Kind of sounds like a stalker, doesn't it? But there's the press. So I'm waiting for that movie. I think it's going to be very interesting, and I believe the parallels with Prince Harry is going to shock a lot of people if they are aware that they're seeing certain things play out. Same as with the Sussexes. I know, they're absolutely adorable. They are adorable. Let's see. Baron John, I think you're saying John started his own magazine called George before they passed in the plane crash. Yes, I remember the George magazine. I believe Cindy Crawford was on the first cover dressed in that sexy George Washington Federalist double-breasted tailcoat with the waistcoat and everything. Um, ask me why I remember that photo. Ask me why I remember that photo. Didn't know I was a weirdo, did you? Who knew I was into models dressed up like fathers of the country? Well, everybody's got a kink, that's for sure. But yeah, I remember the George magazine. There were even people saying that he was going to run for president someday, but I think he had ruled out politics. It was a shame that he could not marry before his mother passed away, but it was it was difficult for him to find a wife because just like Harry, he would have to find someone that could deal with the press. And I believe wasn't his wife uh, PR for, was it Ralph Lauren or Calvin Klein or something like that? Didn't she work in PR? And maybe he assumed that she would have a better handle on things, but that poor girl went to pieces. She was very fragile and just fell apart with the press intrusion. And of course, there's another thing that is kind of like a Sussex connection, and that is that our Meghan, she wanted a very, very simplistic, very modern, clean lines wedding dress, very much like, what was it, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy? Very much like her dress, which of course eventually she did go a little heavier because it's not considered proper to expose your arms and your entire shoulder in a church, especially the Westminster Abbey. That's not considered proper. So she went with something very traditional and something that was easily replicated by other brides, which I thought was so sensible. Let me bring up a couple of photos of John since we're on the topic. Um, oh, I don't know. He's not all that. I mean, I okay, he's tall, but I don't think he's all that. Let's take a look. I think you guys get a bit carried away. Okay, yeah, I would probably give him my social security check. Or yeah, what could I say? I'm not that strong. I'd probably give him my social security check. I see what you mean. Look at that hair. Look at that hair. It's something about that hair that just says, I get paid on the third, right? That's what that hair looks like. That hair screams, I get paid on the third. So, yeah, yeah. Okay, I can see what you mean. Let me see if I can find another image of him. Well, I mean, when he was younger, he wasn't all that. When he was younger, he was pretty average. Okay, yeah, I would probably throw in my Medicaid card too. Yeah, I probably wouldn't eat much for that month. Yeah, I could see he's handsome. He's all right. Listen, y'all giving him too much credit. Y'all giving him too much credit. You don't see me getting carried away, even though I just happen to have these photos on my hard drive. You don't see me getting carried away. uh, yeah, that spells trouble. That spells trouble. That means the press is never going to leave you alone. And they hounded him. They hounded him and they hounded his mother. So yeah, we're going to see some parallels to Harry's situation, losing a parent so young. Definitely, we're going to see some parallels there. And of course, having a mother being one of the most photographed people in the history of the world, definitely similarities there. Now, I want to share something else with you because when the Sussexes went on their famous Oceania tour, and I have shared this before, I had that feeling of Camelot, as they say. You see there? Very similar energy. Right down to the cape dress. You just kind of get that vibe where you have this incredibly handsome couple, um, very charismatic. It's almost like there's only one light in the room and it's coming from the two of them. So there you have it. Jacqueline Bouvier. Oh, and both Megan and Jacqueline fluent in Spanish. If you guys recall, she was fluent in Spanish. And I do believe Megan is conversational in her French, but she's not so good at it. But she can, she can get by with a little basic French. The thing is, Jacqueline Bouvier, obviously, learning French was important to her because of her French ancestry. So, of course, she made it. And she lived in Paris as a photojournalist for maybe a year or two, I believe, after college. Let's see. Kevin says, Baron, I love your sense of humor. Always love your channel as well. Also, love your long episodes when you have legs and, oh, yeah, and Hazel Jones on your panel. By the way, hello, chat. Keep us laughing. Well, thank you so much for the very kind and thoughtful words. And thank you for being here tonight. Oh, you had a crush on John, huh? Listen, I get it. I get it. He was a Kennedy, and his parents were very dynamic people. But um, this idea that he was, so charming and such, um, it's time to move on from that. I mean, not only because he's not with us anymore, but really, we have to appreciate other aesthetics. we have to embrace other ideas of sex appeal and um, what makes a person attractive. So once and for all, yes, he was okay looking, um, but I mean, that's just put that to rest, and and find another archetype that is appealing. Okay, they don't have to be tall with that thick dark hair and um, all that kind of stuff. Okay, we're better than that. They don't have to look like a Chippendale dancer. Um, Let me see. Oh, she was Creole. Don't ask me how I know. Really? Well, I thought her father. Okay, okay. That's. I mean, that's fine. I knew that there was something French going on there. Are you trying to say she was black? Because I think I've heard that before. I may have heard that before. Okay, you know what? Forget everything I just said. I would probably give him a key to my house. Yeah, I'd give him my EBT card, my Social Security check, and a key to the house. And I'd probably make him a car key too. You're right. He's hot. He was hot. So forget everything I just said. Forget everything I just said. You know what? I would just move out and let him have my house. I just so that I wouldn't disturb him. Yeah, I wouldn't want to disturb him. Wouldn't want him to get a hair out of place. So, okay, yes, he was hot. Are you satisfied? Okay. Might even have to come out of retirement just to make sure he's got enough spending money. Oh, well. A lot of us had a crush on John John. We didn't know if he was charming. He was hella fine. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure he look, just because he couldn't pass the bar exam on 3 different occasions, was it? I think he had to take the test 3 times. It just goes to show, just because you're attractive doesn't mean that you're so smart. But yeah, it took, I think, 3 tries for him to pass the bar exam, which, as far as I'm concerned, that only adds to his appeal. Oh, by the way, thank you for the super chat. All right, we're gonna leave John John and move on to something else. I think we got some gossip to get into here. Oh, this poor wretched soul. You know, the man waited 70 years. And then when he finally becomes king, then he's stricken with cancer. But he has made some very poor decisions. His judgment is lacking. I mean, he really has no one to blame but himself. Because, yes, he did suffer from neglect at the hands of his mother, who just could not seem to bond with him. And yes, his father did put him in a very abusive boys' school. All of those things are true. But he is so far removed from being a child at this point. Um, I believe it was Miss Maya Angelou that said, "When you know better, you do better. When someone shows you who they are, believe them." So he's shown us who he is. He's indecisive, foolish, sentimental, and let us not forget, very arrogant, a bully, very rude to anyone who's, you know, not a guest in his home. So he's all those things too. But this thing about his brother, they are saying that, well, A.N. Wilson says Charles must now apologize to Epstein's victims. And I believe the reason why he feels as though he needs to apologize is because a lot of things that has happened because, you know, Charles knew that it was a bad idea for his brother to be an envoy, and maybe he should have done more to stop it, right? And then I'm hearing that Queen Elizabeth was getting intelligence about Andrew from, what was it, MI5 or whatever service it is, that the British intelligence was like, "Ma'am, your son is doing XYZ." And what did she do about it? Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And he continued his devious behavior. She has been covering for him all of his life. Even in death, she's still covering for him somehow. And along with all of that, I was watching a few clips of The Crown. It's a docudrama. They take a lot of license with the storyline. Sometimes they will move the chronological order of events just to help the storyline progress. I'm okay with that. And so let's assume that some of the events happened, generally happened the way they said it did. So, according to The Crown, the Queen wanted two additional children, right? She wanted those additional children because she was such a bad mother the first time around. So Andrew and Edward were conceived so that the Queen could have a do over. And they said because of the way she was so neglectful to Charles, the theory is that she bent over backwards with Andrew as a way to redeem herself. Now, I'm going to say, if you want to use some pop psychology, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Almost like she was a grandmother to her own child. Because, you know, grandmothers tend to spoil their grandchildren. And as someone told me one time, it's a do over. You get a chance to get it right. And if that is the case, then because what's the timetable? Was there like maybe 11 or 12 years between the birth of Afro Annie and the birth of Andrew. It was over a decade, right? That's why I say it almost seems like she was more like his grandmother than his mother. Hazel Jones says he couldn't stop it. His mother wanted for Andrew. He couldn't stop it. His mother wanted that for Andrew. She ruined the careers of some of the people that objected to Andrew. That job used to be the Duke of Kent. Oh, so the special envoy was the Duke of Kent's job. I didn't know that. Okay, I thought that was just a position they just made up for him, but that was a real thing, and that Andrew was put in place just so that he would have something to do. Got it. Oh, he did something too. I'm sure of that. The UK media and the royal family was covering up for Andrew. The UK media had Prince Harry's phone tapped. You don't think they knew about Andrew? Well, like I said, someone just pointed out that there was intelligence that went straight to the Queen and that the Queen knew about it. And then also there has been speculation or allegation, should I say, that Andrew was leaking information, allegedly leaking information that he could provide from being a special envoy, and that sometimes he would literally pick up the phone and relay whatever plans were happening, that he would relay that almost in real time to his friend and cohort, Epstein. And if that is the case, then Epstein was definitely an opportunist, and he was, in all likelihood, some type of what is that they call it? A plant, like an industry plant, like they always say about certain Hollywood types. Well, he was a plant of a whole nother order. I mean, there's no explanation for how he made his money. One day he was a financial analyst, and the next day he had hundreds of millions of dollars. And I don't want to go into that in this platform right now, but it was very sus. It was very, very sus. Um, you know, and by the way, good morning, Zagoy Farms. There was another theory about Andrew, and that is, what was his name? Porgy? What was her friend's name? The horse person, the guy that managed horses or helped her purchase horses. Was his name Porgy? Um, she spent a lot of time with him as he was there to advise her on horses that they could breed and make money. And maybe all of that breeding caused, shall we say, curiosity? Can I leave it at that? Are you okay with that? Do I have to add any more to that? Help me out, Hazel. I think you know what I'm talking about. Although it's just a rumor. It's just a rumor. But yeah. Porgy. Okay, Porgy. And you know, Porgy was a bit stout, wasn't he? Porgy had a very low center of gravity, kind of a bulbous individual, somewhat stout. And wouldn't that describe Andrew? a low center of gravity. So in case he's visiting a tropical island like Epstein's Island, he'd be so well planted to the ground that if there was a monsoon or a hurricane or whatever, he would be one of the last people blown off the island because of that low center of gravity. uh, oh, Porgy was her racing manager. Oh, is that what they call it nowadays, huh? I'm sure he was. He helped her win races with his low center of gravity. Hmm. Anyway, there you have it. The Queen's reputation is definitely going to be shredded soon. If they cannot get out of this, the easiest thing to do is to point your fingers to Queen Elizabeth. I mean, after all, Charles thought so much of his mother, he went foraging for mushrooms while she was, on her way out of here. So Anne is the only one that stayed by her side the most. Charles pretended to be busy. Andrew, once Charles took over the royal household, he wasn't able to get access to things as easily as he would have before. And as for Edward, who cares about him? So Porgy was also the 7th Earl of Carnarvon. The Carnarvons own the building in Downton Abbey. Yes, Highclere Castle. Yes, the Carnarvon family. And I think it was it Carter, one of their relatives, anyway, the one that found the King Tut's tomb. Yeah, that guy. They have an exhibit of the King Tut's exhibits. I guess they're scale models. What used to be the kitchen is now a museum of Egyptian antiquity. The only thing is, not most of that stuff ain't even antique. It's just something to remind you that their family was partially responsible for discovering King Tut's tomb. Georgie, Porgy, pudding pie, kiss the girls and make them cry. Georgie, Georgie, pudding pie, kiss the girls and make them cry. Georgia. Yes, remember that song? And by the way, you guys, I have been to Highclere Castle. I loved it. I actually went. Did I go twice? No, I went one time. But I love that place, and they really let you go through the rooms that are used on the show: the dining room, the library, and of course that entry hall. You even get a chance to go down the stairway, the same steps that they use on television. You enter and you go around and through and then up, and then you descend down those steps. And then out the front door you go. Wait, no, I think you enter the front door and you go out the back or the side or something like that. Okay, so the Queen is the one who should be blamed. No doubt she had the incriminating evidence against Andrew, the sick old man. Oh, she had it destroyed. The evidence was destroyed, like the log for the day that he claimed he went to the Pizza Express. Now, that should have been in the log book, but somehow it came up missing. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Queen's hands, her little fingerprints are all over it. And you know what? Later on, when she was like really in pain and everything, I suspect Andrew was probably dropping off some edibles and um well anyway, the Queen wasn't feeling nothing. She was, you know, relaxed and easily manipulated. You drop off some edibles and and then she just started singing say it's only a paper moon sailing above a cardboard sea. Say it's only make believe if you believe in me. Yep, couple of edibles and she just started singing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The Queen was not using edibles. I refuse to believe that. Maybe they had something stronger. I mean, after all, didn't she choose to get put to sleep before she had children? Wasn't she using general anesthetics instead of enduring the pain? Anyway, we got to have more respect for Queen Elizabeth. I mean, after all, that's Harry's grandmother. So, the document that you see in front of you, I believe that is supposed to be incriminating evidence. Henry VIII, who is one of our favorite squaddies, says the same man pulled security for his youngest son. Is there really any doubt that Elizabeth, Charles, and William knew exactly who Epstein was and still chose to protect Andrew's relationship with him? And of course, that little bulletin there says breaking. A leaked email reveals Charles' aide oversaw protection that is, at Epstein's home. The rot goes all the way to the top. So let me say that again because it sounds so weird. King Charles' aide oversaw royal protection at Epstein's home. What does that mean? Does that mean they made sure it was safe for Andrew to visit his home in New York? Hmm. Or something. Because Andrew did not travel without royal protection. Andrew always had the top level royal protection. Unlike Harry, who had so much of it stripped away from him, Andrew, only the best would do. So, that being the case, maybe when he traveled, um, I don't know what the numbers are, but let's say Andrew traveled with maybe 4 security officers at any given time, maybe more if they thought it was necessary. And so those security people would have proximity to Epstein's property. They would have to be there with him. Otherwise, what kind of security would they be? And it's always awkward to put your bodyguards, to put them between a potential lawsuit or crime or, felony offense or anything like that. It's always awkward to put them in between. But as sworn police officers, they are obliged to report. Now, if you guys recall, when Bill Clinton got in trouble, the chief of his Secret Service detail, he did not want himself or any of his officers put in the middle of anything to do with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. But I also get the argument that these were federal law enforcement and they were obliged to tell the truth, especially if they witnessed anything that appeared to be a crime. They are obliged to tell the truth. So surely there was plenty evidence of the timing of Andrew's comings and goings. And let us not forget also, Andrew was nearly beaten to a pulp on the grounds of Buckingham Palace. That day that they thought there was an intruder in the garden, and they knocked Andrew down to the ground, and he was pissed. Oh, he was angry. But to them, they saw that unfortunate silhouette. They saw that apology of a silhouette and thought, surely this is some washed out old drunkard that somehow managed to scale the fence. And so they knocked what they thought was a big hobo to the ground, only to find out that it was a prince of the realm. A big, sloppy, slouchy, breath stankin', a prince of the realm. And he got angry. He took exception to it. They were only trying to protect his mother and other family members. Not everybody in the royal household were bringing strangers off the street, except for Andrew, allegedly, and backstairs Billy, Mr. William Talon. Okay, so let me see if I can tell you what's on that document that was shared. The Duke, it says from the Duke to Jeffrey Epstein. This is a email. Yes, please. I have 2 in New York, but only 1 staying in the house with me. If you don't need the second, I will send him back. I think this has to do with security. I will get my security to contact your office to liaise and coordinate meeting up at JFK, that's the airport, with the consulate visit officer, Louise Redmond. Now, here's another email. This is from Amanda Thirsk. Basically, I was wondering if you had the address of the house that the Duke of York will be staying in next week. Also, are you able to confirm whether there is room for both his protection officers at the house? Julian Phillips, one of the protection officers, will arrive in the U.S. on Sunday. All of this paid for by the British taxpayers. Now, here's another one. This email has been redacted. You can see the black square down at the bottom. And it's, anyway, That name is throwing me. And this is to Amanda Thirsk. So this is a response from the Epstein people. Hello, Amanda. I am still checking on the availability for 2 protection officers. No, we have room for the Duke and 1 officer at the moment. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Now, the next one with the black bar at the top, that is also redacted. So whoever that came from, again, it has been redacted. I probably won't be back until late Sunday night. There will be room for both Andrew's bodyguards, one on the 4th floor and one on the 5th floor. We will also need a place for Sue. Are there any other apartments free? I am guessing that this is the house in New York, since they mentioned JFK. Okay, and the last one is here. It says from Leslie Groff to Jeffrey Epstein. The Duke's protection officer, Julian, is hoping the Duke and his officers could have a temporary code to get in and out of the house. Lord Jesus. What was Andrew doing in the garden? Tying his shoe, I guess. Lurking around. Who knows? Maybe he thought there were listening devices in his apartment at the Buckingham Palace. Kind of hard to say. Maybe someone was walked out the gate or something. Isn't there like another entrance beside using the front gate? One never knows. They took measures to avoid recording too much information about Andrew's visitors. Andrew would have preferred that there was absolutely no notations whatsoever. But then sometimes they would have a new person, I believe, that would make record of it. So a lot of people probably lost their jobs trying to figure the best way to deal with Andrew and his demands. I have no doubt about that. I'm pretty sure there were a lot of people replaced. Yeah, maybe Andrew went out to the garden to see if he can get lucky. Seeing that he was such a deviant, who knows? Maybe he was trying to make some money. I mean, who wouldn't be willing to spend some money on a overstuffed, middle-aged royal with a possible thyroid condition? That sounds hot to me. Who wouldn't want to shell out a couple of bucks for that action? I mean, could you imagine Andrew out there in the garden trying to woo some sailor visiting London for the first time? When the only sound on the empty streets are the heavy treads of the heavy feet that belongs to a lonesome prince, I'll make you wince. When the moon so long has been gazing down on the wayward ways of this wayward town, that a smile becomes a smirk, he'll go to work. Love for sale. Appetizing, bitter, non sweaty love for sale. Love that's fresh and still unspoiled. Love that's only slightly soiled. Love for sale. Tell me who will buy, who's prepared to look in my thyroid eyes, who's prepared to pay the price for some Pizza Express tonight. Love for sale. Huh? Who's ready to pay that money? Maybe he thought he could get lucky. uh Maybe he thought he could make some money. You never know. I'm sure there would be someone willing to extend charity. Oh my God, those eyes get me every time. You know, it's one thing if you're guilty, but stop trying to look so guilty. Now, I don't know who did this, but somebody took that building on Epstein's Island and fashioned it into a crown for Charles, as though that's you know, a way of keeping him grounded. I don't know, but I thought that was pretty clever. That's that little temple building that Epstein had on his island. Let me see. What do we have here? So Jocelyn says one of the longest reigning monarchs yet since her death, Queen Elizabeth II, only mentioned on how she protected and covered up Prince Andrew. The other one still trends here, how now and then. Oh, I cannot see that. Hold on a second. Okay. So the other one trends here now and then for her legacy. Princess Diana is the real queen. It is interesting that after 70 years on the throne, there is barely any mention of Queen Elizabeth II. Rare is there any mention of her. Um, I do not believe that there's a big appetite to create a big monument for her, but yet they are securing funds. I believe they want as much as 50 million pounds to create a monument for Queen Elizabeth II. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but in this time when people are, hungry and trying to pay for their heat and electricity and such, I think it's a bad idea. I really do believe it's a bad idea. I watched that documentary on Netflix about Savile, and I tell you, I could barely get through it. Once it got closer to the end, when they were speaking about how Savile created the atmosphere for his victims, that was very difficult to watch. Very difficult. So I just took a deep breath and I got through it because I don't like to leave anything incomplete. But it was difficult. It was very difficult because it's like you could really feel for the victims. So, yeah, I would say if you do watch it, use caution. Use caution. If you're sensitive about certain elements, then I don't remember where I would recommend that you would stop watching it, but they told the story. It's just the volume of victims. You could not really sort that out because it had been happening for years. Years. So there you have it. Oh my goodness, have we been on for 2 hours already? Jeez Louise. So the real reason Princess Kate is not going on royal tour with William next week. Well, I think we know what the real reason is. And when that day comes and we see a familiar face popping up here and there, then we'll know why she wasn't welcome. Plus, William does not like to have anyone take attention away from him, not even Kate. He tolerates her, and I give him points. I don't know that he's ever been, aside from kind of pushing her hand away, I don't think there's been anything greater than that. So, yep. I know. Didn't they give him a key or something like that? I know when they said that, did he have a camper and that he would go to the school and he would pick and choose who would spend the day with him, sometimes more than one or two at a time. I'm like, how could this has been possible? But I'm going to tell you, the one story that really got me had to do with church. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. But that was so disturbing. And there were people that were coming forward for years, and nobody believed them. And one of the tactics that was used to make sure that he knew the right people and that he would get the coverage that he needed. I'm speaking of Savile. He befriended law enforcement. He was a hero to the country. He raised a lot of funding for, was it impoverished children, sick or ill children or whatever. He did a lot of good work. He ran cross country to raise funds. He had that show, Fix My Problems, right? Remember that show, Fix My Problems? And all of those things, it just meant he could not ever face any type of indictment. It's almost as though the public wouldn't stand for it. At least that's what the victims thought. So they just had to give up. There were anonymous letters that were mailed about him, and they were just tossed in the bin. But real people knew about it. Real people knew about it. Important people. And nothing was done about it. They cared more about his comfort and friendship than they felt for the enemy. And that's the truth. So, okay. I just got one more thing and then we will be done. Take a look here Canada, I am so disappointed. I am so disappointed. How could you have coffee crisp and not say anything? You know those are not available in the United States. I am so disappointed. If you are Canadian, I don't know that I can look at you for the rest of the day. I'm just that disappointed. How could they be three major ingredients? Something crispy, coffee, and chocolate, and I don't know about it. Oh, how rude. How rude. I don't care what the tariff costs. I have got to try those. Let me see if they have them at Amazon. If they have them at Amazon, my Canadian family, you are off the hook. But if I cannot get a hold of those, I'm going to give it the whole month of February. If I can't get a hold of one of those for the rest of February, I am going to admonish you all with my stare. Yes, I'm going to admonish everyone with my stare. I have got to try those. Oh, my coworker always brings those when she flies from Canada. Okay. Oh my goodness, that's even worse. It's not that they didn't believe him, they just didn't care. You know what? That makes so much sense. Yeah, that makes more sense than anything I could think of. They just didn't care. It's kind of like when people you know, love, and trust know about coffee crisp and they don't even tell you. Oh, I think I can get those. I see them. They're at the World Market. They sell them at Walmart. Aha, you guys, I take back everything I said. I take it back. I take back everything I said. They are available. Oh, I don't want them from eBay. Them things might be older than me. Let me go to Walmart. Yep, I can see it here. And World Market. I can order them from World Market. I am going to try the coffee crisp. I don't know when I'm going to order them, but I am going to try them. So you guys are off the hook. No fault, no foul. I'll find my own source of coffee crisp. And with that, you guys, I am done. Thank you all so much. Let us have a few last words before we go. Mm, are you sure? Yeah, you know what? You're right about that. They were friends. Yeah, they were friends. I don't know what I was thinking. They were friends. Photographed together. Charles depended upon Savile as an advisor. He was kind of like an advisor to Charles. Do you guys remember when one of the um, was it one of the archbishops of the Church of England? The archbishop was accused of something menacing or something. Well, not menacing, but you know what he was accused of, taking advantage of someone. And Charles wrote a letter of support, but the letter was not for Yeah, the letter was not for the victims. The letter was to console the perpetrator. Charles wrote a letter somewhat delicately admonishing the victim and standing up for the perpetrator. Now, something like that should have excluded Charles from being the head of the Church of England. Okay. Good night, Squatties and Baron, Cookies and Cream, Hazel Jones, Elaine Parker, Connie Balmer, Ingrid, Ingrid Zaquay Farms, Perlina Answer, Ann Simpson, is it? Okay. Are we all good, everyone? Thank you so much for joining us. Let's take another look at Meghan's extraordinary night. Nope, not that.
Sit on, Meghan. Meghan, sit on.
Guys,
Give us a wave. Give us a wave. As you walk.
have a good night.
How's it look, Meghan?
You're looking amazing, Meghan.
I just couldn't wait until after dinner. They always say save the best part for last, but honestly, why wait for the best part last? I want to have it first. Orange marmalade. Oh, you know this one. I've talked about it so much. Raspberry spread, strawberry spread. I think I'm going to try the strawberry. I'm going to savor this one and I'm going to cherish it. I made my homemade bread. It's a little misshapen, but hey, it still tastes good. Toasted. A little Kerrygold butter. I am very excited for the strawberry Meghan Markle jam. Oh, that noise is the equivalent of a champagne pop. This could be Dom Perignon. It is. This is like the Cadillac of spread. And you see that? She does things runny, so you could drizzle it on fruit, pancakes, pastries. The options are limitless. Okay. You see the specks from the strawberry? It's very much fresh. Very nice. Very nice alternative to the marmalade. This one's not as sweet, but it's tangy. These are the strawberries. Let me just taste it by itself. That, oh my God. That's like a strawberry puree, fresh from the fields after a long, warm summer's day. I'm telling you, all of her stuff is a hit. I'm hooked on the strawberry or the orange marmalade, but this, God, I really need to like not eat it so much because her stuff sells out so much. Thank you, Meghan. And I saw she released a bookmark, which had completely like sold out like that. And also why I'm on that email list and I'm not getting any of the emails, but someone was so gracious enough to send me a heads up and they had said, hey, Meghan's doing a drop tonight. Like so sweet. The fans of Meghan are the nicest. Okay, so now fight about it in the comments.
I love you so much. I love her. Oh my God, not with the flashlight. I'm sorry, it turned on. Oh my God, I love you. Oh my God, not. I love you so much. I love her. Oh my God, not with the flashlight. I'm sorry, it turned on.
Oh my goodness. That is awful that you ran into that monster. Well, let me just say I'm very proud of the way that you handled yourself, that that you didn't get in trouble or anything like that. Baron, I was on my way to work, Hammersmith and City Line last Friday, and guess who was on my train? Jason flipping Knopf. It took everything in me, all my strength to not on him. Oh, man. Well, you are very strong, and I admire your strength. Oh, you just stared at him. I guess that had to be surreal to see that smug face looking back at you. Ugh, I could only imagine. I could only imagine. I would only ever want to imagine that. I wouldn't want to have to live it or experience it. At least not unless I'm prepared, if you know what I mean. Not unless I'm prepared. It took all the strength I had not to go to jail. When I saw him over there, I said, what the hell? I could have. Okay, I'm not going to make a song about it. I don't want to get myself in trouble. Oh, now go. Get off the train. Because if you don't, I'm going to. Weren't you the one who tried to ruin the Sussexes? Did you think that I would just sit here and. Oh, man. I think I'm kind of good at making up those songs, right? Yep. Anyway, you guys, thank you. It's been fun. And we'll have to do this again real soon. Very soon. Okay. Is he tall or short? He seems like he's kind of tall. But I don't know. I get the feeling he's not that tall. Only I've seen him standing next to derangers. And I saw him standing next to Samantha. So, you know, not so, yeah. You know how that is. Dr. Ruth Westheimer is taller than Samantha. Oh, he's very tall, huh? Very lanky and greasy looking. Yeah, you know, there are some people that I look at them and I'm just like, oh, that person needs to take a bath. It doesn't mean that they are, you know, like they have poor hygiene or anything. It's just, it's something about them. I'm just like, ugh, that one needs to take a bath. And I would definitely put him on that list of people that I think needs a good bath. I'm trying to think which actors would I put on that list. I used to have a few. None of them come to mind right now. Oh, Mel Gibson, he definitely needs a bath. Who else needs a bath? Believe it or not, well, I used to think I don't know. Orlando Bloom, I kind of felt like he needed a good scrubbing. Carmen Diaz, is that cruel? I kind of wanted to take a brush and just kind of scrub her down real good. I know that's kind of weird that I have a list of people that need a good soak, but again, it has nothing to do with their hygiene. I mean, I don't know those people. And anybody in the Osborne family, all of them need a good scrubbing. I need to draw a really hot bath and just let them soak in it. Val Rich, good morning to you too. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, love you guys. I'm going to go for real this time. And I will see y'all later today or tomorrow.